Alrighty, hi everyone, welcome to the next class in Viewpoints, Enlightened Perception for a Peaceful Future. Now, today we are going to be looking at how we as human beings interpret reality, how we tell stories to ourselves, and how a lot of the time these stories aren't totally true. So today we're going to have a breakthrough in creating more freedom and self-expression around being able to experience reality as it is and to not believe a lot of the lies that we tell ourselves that can get us into some trouble. So I hope you enjoy the class. Let's get going. So many different traditions in history: Buddhism, Stoic philosophy, which you might have heard of, that was the Greek philosophy, ontological philosophy, and modern day psychology. They all teach us that we have reality and then we have our thoughts about reality. And our thoughts about reality, we can't necessarily change what's going on out there, but we can change what we think. And as you already know from the previous videos on this course, as human beings, we're always interpreting reality through our own lens. And the work that we're doing here is working at creating a better lens, a clearer lens that helps us see things more clearly. So all these ancient traditions say that we are always interpreting reality through our filters. In ontological philosophy, what they say is you have the observation and the evaluation. So I've got it here on my iPad. So you can see here, we've got the observation. So the observation is what can you observe with your eyes? What can we all agree on? What can we see? What is the observation? And then you've got the evaluation. Now the evaluation is the story that you give it. What are you making it mean? So they're two very different worlds. Now, most people, most of our leaders, most journalists, most politicians don't understand the difference, and most people in general. But there's two very different worlds. There's the observation and the evaluation. We've got what happens, and then we've got the story about it, okay? And as we've already discussed on this course, like, people are always talking in the world of evaluation. So, for example, imagine there was a stock market crash. So that's what happens. And then imagine journalists wrote about that, and you had journalists from different newspapers. They would all have their own evaluation. What happened? Why did it happen? What are the details? Each of them would have their own viewpoint, their own story about what happened. Okay, so you've got the observation and then you've got the evaluation. So let's do something a little close to home. Imagine that you got ill. Imagine that you had to take some time off work. That's what's happened. I got ill and I have to take some time off work. That's what's happened. But then we have the story, our interpretation of what that means. We might say, oh, my life's going to be ruined. Oh, the next 2 years is going to be a write-off. You might say this is a really bad thing. You might say this is awful. You might say this is going to ruin my career prospects. You might make it mean something about you. I'm useless. I'm no good. Whatever. You can see what happened. You got ill and you had to take some time off work, and you can see the story that you told yourself about it. Two very different things. Yeah? And somebody else might have to take time off work because they're ill. Their story could be totally different. They might be telling themselves, this is great, this is awesome, I've got time off work, I get to do my own thing, I get to plan a different career. So we've got what happens, and then we make it mean. Okay, so let's look at something else. Imagine that a friend of yours doesn't invite you to their birthday party. We've all been there. Well, I have anyway. What happens? What we know, what we can all observe, is Bill didn't invite me to his birthday party. That's what happened. What do I make it mean? Oh, we're not friends anymore. He or she has betrayed me. We might make it mean that we're missing out on lots of fun and that our relationship's over now. We might make up a story like, oh, they don't like me anymore. They've forgotten about me. Who knows what that story is, but you must have seen some of your friends having this situation. Maybe you've even had it yourself when you don't get invited to a party or a wedding and you make it mean something. And sometimes we can turn those things into this huge story that goes on for days and months and years ahead. So we've got the observation and we've got the evaluation. Two very different things. Okay, how about something like your friend looked at a video on Facebook but they didn't like it, or they didn't give it a like. For example, now some people are very aware of what's going on social media. So what happened? I didn't get a like, whatever it is. What did I make it mean? Oh, there's something wrong, there's a problem, they don't like me, how rude of them, how nasty of them. I mean, in dating, this comes up all the time. Someone says, oh, you know, my ex-girlfriend looked at a video that I posted on Instagram. You know, that's what happened. What happened is someone looks at a video and then we make it mean all sorts of things. That's what humans do. We are always interpreting and coming up with our own story based on our own reality tunnel, based on our own values, based on our own filter. Like, we have designed and curated our reality tunnel, and that's what shapes how we experience reality. So it's important to notice that. Let's look at some more recent issues in the public eye. What about the COVID vaccine? My goodness, could there have been a more dividing issue? What happened? Someone chose not to have a vaccine. What did I make it mean? My goodness, I mean, you read about it in the news. The stories about what they made it mean. They're nasty, they're evil, they're inconsiderate, they're selfish, they're no good, they're crazy, they're vaccine deniers, they're conspiracy theorists, they're stupid, they're ignorant. What happened? What did I make it mean? Two very different worlds. Let's look in the UK. We had Brexit a few years ago. We had the referendum. Both sides, what happened? For whatever reason, there was a vote to leave Europe. What did everyone make it mean? Both sides had a story about the other side. Both sides had views. There was the observation of what happened, and there was the interpretation, what they made it mean. Two very different things. And it's a skill to be able to tell the difference. What happened and what's the story people are telling about reality. Now, when someone tells you their viewpoint, they're telling you about their story, they're telling you about their reality tunnel, and there's always more information we can include. In my reality tunnel, in your reality tunnel, we never have all the information. Now look, you don't have to like everything in the world, we don't have to be happy with everything, but the point is our interpretation, our evaluation is always missing information. We can always add information to our story. There's always more to say. The first thing to get is what happens, and our evaluation are different things. And our evaluation is a guess. It's always a guess. That's just how it is. We're guessing, right? That's the first thing. And also about this guess is there's always more information to include. That would change our opinion. But if we did include more information, then we probably would change our opinion, and not a lot of people want to change their opinion because they like thinking and feeling the way they do. There's a sense of comfort, of familiarity about it. But at the end of the day, this is how human beings work. We do this thing called observation and evaluation, and it's really important to start telling the difference. Problem is, a lot of people don't realize the difference between the two, and they think their evaluation is the observation. So a lot of us really do think other people are stupid. A lot of us really do believe that other people are evil. We label other people. A lot of people do believe that other people are ignorant, and we're sure about it. No, that's not an evaluation. That's how it really is. This is the truth. I know, this is the truth. And that's the problem, because we believe that the evaluation is the observation. It's very different. Human beings are always doing this. Now, we might think we're true, we might be confident we're true, but we can't be certain for sure unless we've got all the information in the world. And you see, here's the thing. When we realize that it's just an evaluation, we can be open to hearing other people's viewpoints. We can be open to hearing other information. We can be open to other sources of information. Instead, when we're sure this is how it is, then we don't let any further information in. Then we've kind of shut down, we've closed up. We stopped learning, stopped allowing. So it's really important. So after this class, start to have a think about your life, about circumstances. Pick a situation with your relationship, pick a situation with work, pick any topic that you're suffering or that you're struggling with, any topic where you're in conflict over or where you're struggling emotionally with. What is the difference? What can you observe? Put that on one side on a piece of paper. What can you observe? And what is your evaluation? What's your story about it? They're two very different things. And just begin to see, give yourself a bit of freedom to begin to see what you do, because we all do it. And as you practice this, it'll get easier and easier over time, okay? So if you've got any questions, put them under the video, I'll get back to them. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the class today. We're gonna be talking more about this over the next few days, so I will catch you later. See you around.